I've decided to go with the antler or the deer bone. I think that'll make a nice handle. It'll look good on the knife. It'll look something. Sorry, out of frame there. It'll look something like that. The diameter of my hole here is about 3/8 of an inch, and so I'll need to grind the metal down here so that it'll be 3/8 of a tang that'll go inside the deer bone. And so my first thing I'm going to do is grind this down, lay this out so I can grind this down to have a tang on here. So I'm going to start doing that now. Alright, so here's what I came up with. The red is what I'm going to be removing via stock removal, and then obviously that's what the tang is going to be looking like when it's done. So the knife will be somewhat like that, and then the bone will fit over that and butt up with that shoulders there. So I'm going to be taking it over to my angle grinder that I have set up and grinding that metal off of there. And this is already hardened steel, so I'm going to have to keep dunking it in water and make sure that it stays nice and cool without overheating it. So here's what we got from grinding. Got ourselves a tang, push tang. You see I got quite a bit of sanding and filing to do, especially here. I want a nice crisp corners, so I'm going to take the file for that, and then the edges here I'm going to sand. I want it to kind of taper smaller as it gets this way. I plan on making some sort of a finger guard, I believe. I'm going to try to work on something that I don't rarely do, but I think in this case it's going to be beneficial. I'm going to drill this out a little bit so it actually is 3/8, and I still have to sand this down quite a bit too. I don't want to get too small. I want it to be kind of a nice fit. So that's where we're at right now. Alright, so taking the tang, sanded it all down so it's smooth on all sides, and it slightly tapers smaller here and it gets slightly bigger. I'm going to have to work on that a little bit more when I make the finger guard, but for now I've taken it over and filed these corners here, and as you can see I still have work to do on the one side. Alright, battery's died, sorry about that. Trying to get this to where you see that I'm trying to get a 90-degree angle, and you see I have one side, which is the side on the right. I don't know if you can see there or not, but this side is even with the top of the square, and this side is still sticking up. So I still need to work on this side a little bit more, but I have this side pretty well good with a 90-degree angle. This is what I want. This angle here is pretty good, and this is good as far as being square and perpendicular to the spine, which is what I'm going for. Do a kind of a test fit here to see. Here's the bone. Fits on there pretty nice, so this is going to be kind of the final look to it. But like I said, this is for a 12-year-old boy, and I imagine they do a lot of stabbing and sticking and that sort of thing. So if this was for me, this would be good enough. I just put a bolster on the front to hide the whole of the bone, obviously, and I think it's just safer to have a finger guard. I'm gonna manufacture some sort of a finger guard, and I'm gonna use steel for this. I'm not gonna use brass or what you normally would see. I'm just gonna use some steel, and I've never done that before, and I like to do projects that I'm working on. I like to do things I've never done before, kind of gain wisdom, experience from it. So do some file work on this section here, and I'm just using a regular file. Here's a file that I'm using for that. Now, a file should have a safe side. And you see this side of the file has been flattened, smoothed out. That way, if all I want to do is file this side and not this side, I put the smooth side toward the side I don't want to file. And when I file, I'm not filing this. I'm only filing this. Same thing, if I want to file just this side and not this side, I'll put the smooth side down. And that way I'm only filing this side, not this side. Or you still have this side has both files on all sides. If I want to go in there and get that corner nice and square, come in there and now I'm filing this side and this side. So that's pretty important. On all my files I have a safe side, what I call a safe side, a smooth side, where I've taken to the belt sander and I've smoothed that out. Also, I'm working on the finger guard, and this will be what the finger guard will look like. Something similar. You can see the black outline I have. This is going to be typical teardrop type finger guard, and I've been using the needle file on this. This is some mild steel that I have that I'm going to be using for that. Now I just want to give you a quick tip. I've done quite a few like these, and what's really helped me out a lot is tapering this down, leaving the thickness here quite a bit, and then from about here on, halfway on, taking it to the belt sander and making this thinner as you go up. And in the same way this way as well, about halfway through, making this thinner as you go up. And what that allows you to do is you can test fit it on and see mine only goes in that far so far, but then taking a look at it and seeing where you're tight, where you have holes, holding up to the light, and seeing where you need to work on it more, what's touching, what's not touching, and knowing that you're eventually going to get this bigger and bigger and bigger, and this also too gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're going to come to a point where it's no longer bigger anymore, to where it's nothing but just having to hammer it on the rest of the way. So hopefully when you get it to the halfway point where you've stopped tapering it, hopefully it's where it's needed to be, and you can just kind of glide it on the rest of the way, and then it's good from there. And then once I get this hole done, then I'll shape this piece, because if I mess this hole up, then there's no point shaping all the rest of this. It's trash anyway. I've kind of flattened that out a little bit, so you see that goes on there really well, and it looks really good. I'm liking that look, and if this, like I said, this was my knife, I'd keep it like that. But we're going to add a finger guard on here. So that's not going to come down all the way, it'll be about to there. So it'll be an inch below the handle itself to guard the fingers from going onto the blade. So pretty happy with where we've gotten so far with that. I'm going to go grab something to eat, and we'll come back and work on it some more. Alright, I came back from eating, and I kind of just got at it, and I got the notch cut on the finger guard. Came out pretty good. It's not perfect by any means, but it does fit on there pretty nice. There's a little bit gap on the side of the blade, but as far as what this is for, and the fact that it's going to a 12-year-old and that I'm not going to redo anything anyway, I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, it could always be better, but it is what it is. I'm pretty happy with it. So I got that done. I took a piece of the original handle, and this was a lot bigger piece, and I've 2 times now have put it in the vise to drill it, and it just cracked. I mean, this stuff is it's brittle. I don't know what kind of wood this is, but I thought it'd be cool to reuse the wood to put in between, a little space in between the handle and the actual finger guard. And I thought that using the original handle would be a really cool touch for that, but I gotta throw that idea out. I can't do that. So I have an assortment of woods over here. So I have an assortment of woods over here that I was thinking about. I like bloodwood. I like bloodwood. I think it looks really awesome. Wood, African hardwood. I've got quite a bit of that, and then I have some Paduak, some wood. It looks really, really cool. I've got some IPE. So I don't know. I might use one of these. I think these look kind of cool, especially at the point now where I'm gonna start choosing what kind of wood I'm gonna use in between here, because I think that it needs something broken up in between. I think if you had a little bit of wood in between there as kind of a spacer. I think that would look a lot better, give it that more of a custom fit. And then also it would aid in blending the blade, blending the blade into the actual handle, because you see how the handle is a little bit lower than the blade because of the notch of the bone itself. So if I put some wood in there, then I'll be able to sand that down and kind of blend those in a little bit better. And I think that'll work a lot better, and it'll look a lot cooler. But that's what I have so far. Obviously, I haven't done anything to this finger guard. It's not going to be anywhere near that long. It's only going to stick down an inch below the blade. But that's where I'm at so far, and I'm pretty happy with where I got, what I'm doing. And I'm just going to pick up one of these woods, probably just do this one, drill it, just drill it out, thin it out a little bit, and then fit everything together, make sure everything fits nice and plumb, and then get ready to glue it. So, well, before I glue it, I'm gonna shape this to the desired shape that I want, kind of like I said, that teardrop shape that I like. So